It is time to blast off inside the kennel. And now here is a tomahawk missile himself, Vindog Radio.
Woo! 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 Welcome to Inside the Kennel with myself, Vindog Radio, Money Bin Production, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely exciting to be here, and I am with you today. And you can add and follow us right now on Podbean.com. The app has been downloaded over 5 million times, but over 1.7 billion downloads of the podcast on Podbean.com have been downloaded. Now, we're going to get into some good stuff today, but first you can add us, like, and follow our podcast on Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, wherever you should download podcasts on TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. And we are everywhere, even on Pandora, ladies and gentlemen. We are going deep into right center field. And today, we're going to talk about critical race theory. And a mom goes off on the East Coast. Don't mess with her kids. She will be the one to bring it to you. All right, let's listen to this mom, how she takes care of business.
I think the Board of Education and those sitting on the panels are thieves. I think they're liars and have committed treason against our children.
This, my friends, right here is exactly what it's going to take. Parents standing up to their board of supervisors, the board of educators that are trying to indoctrinate our kids.
My message to this district and the members of the Board of Ed: stop indoctrinating our children. Stop teaching our children to hate the police. Stop teaching our children that if they don't agree with the LGBT community, that they're homophobic. You have children like mine who is Muslim, and I'm Christian, and everyone would think, they would never believe that of her, right? Because the way she looks, or according to Miss Cyrus, she's too pasty white.
Ma'am, we're not allowed to use names. If you have something you'd like to discuss
Why
with
not?
a specific person, you can call the superintendent or leave your info for her
Why
to call you
not?
tomorrow.
Why are we not allowed to discuss names? Why am I not allowed when they purposely themselves expose themselves on social media, talking about calling for the death of a former president, or saying that any child that doesn't believe in Black Lives Matter should be canceled out? Is this what my tax dollars is paying for? You're teaching my children and other children that if they believe in God Almighty, they're part of a cult.
Wow.
These educators put their own names out there. We
Tell
have
him,
Mr.
sister.
Berry, who took it upon himself with Miss Cyrus to create a curriculum.
That should be it.
Do you
No,
want
it's
the
not
proof?
it.
I have the proof. You created a curriculum of Black Panther indoctrination.
Ma'am,
You use taxpayers' dollars.
ask you one more time. I have no issue hearing what you have to say.
Yeah, you do.
Why can we not let the public
Yeah,
speak?
let them hear it. Let's
Why
do
can't
it.
we let the public know that you're teaching our children to go out and murder our police officers?
That
Do
is-
you want the proof? I have the proof. Is that what scares you, the proof? That a
It does
parent
scare
actually
them.
standing up against all of you? Is that what scares you, to call out the names of these people? You work for me. I don't
Amen,
work for
sister.
you. You have a duty. We are entrusting our children to you. We teach our children morals, values, when they grow up to commit crimes and end up in prison and kill a police officer. It's our fault? No, it's your fault. You're emotionally abusing our children and mentally abusing them. You're demoralizing them by teaching them communist values. This is still America, ma'am. And as long as I'm standing here on this good ground earth of God, I will fight. And this is not the last
See,
of
they're
me
gonna
you
walk
will
out.
see. Schools are trying to poison our children's minds, teaching them about things that they have no right to be taught in school. Do you know who makes up the majority of this district? Children from police officers' families. Blues. Back the blue children. Do you know what these children feel like when they come home? Have you spoken to them? No. You're silencing them. This whole cancel culture, you're silencing the children. Where are their rights? They have no rights. Because if they don't believe in the indoctrination, the demonic, twisted, sneaky, vile acts and education, if you call it that you're teaching our children, they don't agree with that. They're either homophobic, they're part of a cult, they're racist. What's racist? Who defines racist? Why? Because do you know what race I am? Do you? You don't. You don't even have an idea. I could be black. I could be white. I could be Asian. You don't know. Who are you to...
That's right. Who are you to tell people how their children should be indoctrinated? I am telling you, ladies and gents, these people on the uber left side of the aisle are nuts. They're crazy. They're insignificant idiots. And these school board educators are on the payroll, and they're on the take to destroy your families. Now, why should that happen, right? Why should people let critical race theory play a role in schools and telling people it's okay to kill police officers, it's okay not to back the blue? I mean, this is outrageous. And nobody stands up to these goons. You know what I'm saying? And that was a New York mom. So, what does Governor Andrew Cuomo have to say about all this? What? Hey, he sounds like Arnold on crack. All right. So, if you're going to let these people indoctrinate children and teach them critical race theory, teach them how to defund the police, because that's what basically this is all about. It's an agenda, ladies and gentlemen. It's a major agenda. Now, I want you to hear from a Chinese immigrant. This lady tells it like it is what critical race theory is all about.
I just want to let the American people know that what's going on in our school and in our country is really a replay of the Cultural Revolution in China. And I want people to see there's similarities, and the similarities are terrifying. They use the same ideology and same methodology, even the same vocabulary, and with the same goal. The ideology is cultural Marxism, and we were divided into groups as oppressor and oppressed. And here we use race, and there they use class. And the people here who have a different review were labeled racist. But in the Cultural Revolution, the label is counter-revolutionary. So it is a hat that fits all. And once the hat is on your head, your life is ruined.
Wow, your life is ruined. Can you believe that? America, you need to stand up against stuff like this. I was just telling one of my loved ones that I wanted to go to the school board, and that person said, don't do it. And I'm like, man, I want to so bad, because these children are being absolutely poisoned and abused. And I don't even want to sit back and let that happen to the children of the future of the United States of America. I love this country too much to let stuff like this happen. I love these children too much to let stuff like this happen. This is nutso. And there are a lot of stupid people in politics. Let me tell you. Especially the uber left Democrats. They are the ones that are really causing all this chaos. And it is nuts that everybody stands by and just lets it happen. Anybody going to do something in Washington? Okay, here's the suggestion I have for every last person that votes in this country and do not want their children to be poisoned by the system. This is what you do when elections come around on the local and state and national level. You flush the idiots down the toilet that do not agree with you. You understand what I'm saying to you? Make sure that you do this, because these people are sick. They're demonic. This is what you do with these people. Put them right down the commode together, because we are not going to take this anymore. You know what I'm saying? You got to play that good old song. We're not going to take it. Oh no, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. I am so upset that I had to let that out. And I really don't sing, guys, all right? So I'll keep my day job, which is announcing things. Now, they're also teaching children how to commit sexual acts in classrooms. This is a part of indoctrination training on the elementary school level as young as third graders. And you're telling me that this isn't poison ivy on steroids? Friends, neighbors, parents, grandparents, aunts, cousins, uncles, wake up and smell the incense, because they are on the path of destruction of the nuclear family. And they're promoting the queer agenda, as they say. They're having trans people to do story time with children in classrooms. Oh, nothing to see here, folks. That's just the way we do things around here. We're on a new agenda. This is a new reset. The Great Reset of America is full of poison. That's what this is all about. Don't be fooled by the narrative of these idiots. And they'll try and change the whole title for the curriculum so that you won't even recognize it. My friends, I am with you. If you're going to jump into the fight, roll up your sleeves and get those hands dirty up to your elbows, because we're going to have to do it if we're going to save our children. Vindog doesn't play those games. Have I ever made mistakes in life? Absolutely. Who hasn't? Let's get together on this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Let's do some work. Let's take our country back and take it out of the government's hands. Because, like Ronald Reagan said, big government is the problem. People are not the problem. Coming up on the other side, I'm going to let Glenn Beck give you his analysis. And he's going to read something about how people are defunding the police department with millions of dollars being taken away. And then he's going to talk to Dan Crenshaw about critical race theory in the military. This is getting nuts. Let's speak up. I'm with it. So help me God. And God gave us all voices of somehow in some way to say something, to stand up. You know the old saying, stand for something or you will fall for everything. Back on the other side of Inside the Kennel, right here on Podbean.com, a Money Bin production. We're coming back on the other side, baby. Back in a minute, sucker. Back in a minute.
More with the street shooter himself right after this. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Vindog Radio.
American Airlines, rated the worst, losing the most bags, shrinking legroom during COVID. American requires passengers to show ID to fly, but attacks Texas's popular voter ID law. Why is CEO Doug Parker trying to appease the radical left? To distract from billions in taxpayer bailouts, from his $10 million payday, from Americans' record layoffs. Doug Parker, American Airlines. Serve your customers, not woke politicians. Coca-Cola is getting political, attacking Georgia's popular voting law. Why? To distract from years of dismal sales, terrible 2020 results, reports suspecting they benefited from forced labor in China. Coca-Cola products are poisoning America's youth and worsening the obesity epidemic. So the company tried funding phony science to minimize the harms, but they got busted. James Quincy, Coca-Cola. Stop poisoning our children. Serve your customers, not woke politicians. Nike is constantly political. Why? Cover. Congressional reports suspect Nike used forced labor in China. Religious minorities were ripped from their families, sterilized, sold to factories. Nike made shoes in those same areas. Congress tried to ban Nike's labor practices. Nike fought back with highly paid lobbyists. Rather than hiring Americans, Nike chose China. John Donahoe, Nike, stop exploiting foreign labor. Serve your customers, not woke politicians.
He shoots straight from the hip, and if you don't like it, go and stuff yourselves. Back to the kennel with Mr. Keeping It Real himself, Vindog Radio.
Welcome back to the kennel with myself, Vindog Radio, a Money Bin production. You can also follow us on YouTube at Money Bin Productions with a Z. That's right, Money Bin Productions with the Z, ladies and gentlemen. Shall I say it one more time with a little reverb? With a Z! Dan Crenshaw was recently on a Glenn Beck Wednesday night special a few weeks ago, and they were talking about the Great Reset of America, but they were also talking about how the military is being indoctrinated and being poisoned with critical race theory, and how people have to atone for their whiteness. It's nuts, right? It's happening, my friends. It's happening. I just can't believe it's happening. Who would have thought that this would happen in our lifetime, right? All right. Glenn Beck with Dan Crenshaw. Listen to this.
We've always trusted our military. Now people like you, like me, are being called radicals and insurgents. I want peace. I wouldn't turn against my own country. What is happening to our military between that and all of the things? I mean, you could go all the way down to just the little cartoons that they put out. What is our military going to be able to stand this?
Good question.
In the long run, I hope so. Look, but I want to make sure that we fix it before it becomes a real problem. This is why I recently opened up my official website to a whistleblower page so that active duty members of the military can tell us what's going on. Because we've heard about all of these things, this, woke indoctrination, identity politics, this diversity and inclusion training, which, okay, sure, sounds harmless at first, but what it really ends up being is critical race theory, this idea that you should look through everything through the lens of race or other immutable characteristics. So this is problematic. It leads to cultural decay. It leads to the decay and the corruption of an institution. When I talk to members of the military, and the vast majority of responses we're getting, morale is very low because of this. They feel politically targeted for the reasons you stated. And they also feel like they can't speak up for common sense.
That's crazy. They can't speak up for common sense. Our military is being poisoned. This is insane. The men and women of the armed forces of the military of the United States of America go to protect our borders and our freedoms, and to protect freedoms of people around the world that desire to have freedom. Now they're using the military as their own stepping stone to create more destruction in America. America's not going to last very long if people do not stand up and resist this nonsense. America is in for the fight of its life. And just to think, it will only exist close to 250 plus years, and that's it? This country was built on Judeo-Christian values. I will say it again. This country was built on Judeo-Christian values. Read the Constitution, read pieces of the book of Isaiah, and you can see that it aligns itself with the Bible. The Word of God, for which some people are trying to take that out of the classrooms already all the way. And they've successfully taken it out of the school system. Teachers can't teach children about Jesus, but they can teach children how to put a condom on a banana. Something is wrong with that. Very, very wrong. They call good evil and evil good. Some people will even sell out their own family members just to get ahead in this world. And people would say, hey, man, I never see you go out and hang out around your family members because I don't want them to be in trouble. I want them to be safe. I want them to live an everyday life because I am in a fight for everyone. I am in a fight for righteousness. I am in a fight for 1,500 black babies that die every day at the hands of the abortion mills. And BLM, you should be ashamed of yourselves because all of that money that was made with BLM, guess who took it? All the white liberals that are talking about systemic racism. This is nuts. Absolutely incriminating. And once again, my friends, black people are being used as pawns. And they say, wow, Vin, seem a little upset about that. Yes, I am. I am sick of all of the hypocrisy. If a conservative says something, oh my goodness, can you believe they said that? Blah, 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 blah. All those conservatives, oh my goodness. They tend to stick and vote Republican. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Conservatives, yes, we do tend to vote Republican. But I will tell you something. If there is a Democrat that has an ounce of common sense, I would vote for him or her. Let's get that straight. All that a person requires for a conservative to like them is if they have a moral compass and a love for the Constitution of the United States of what we call America, what's left of it. The path of destruction of America continues the way that the Democrats and the Republicans are fighting on both sides. Look, if you read the Bible very well, you can tell that the Democrats are the Sadducees. They don't believe in God. They don't think there's a God. They want to be God. The Republicans are the Pharisees. And I need not go any further from there. Some people might get a little ticked off at me because I said that, but it is true. These people cannot come together for the greatness of America on anything. All they do is bicker, wasting the taxpayers' time and money. Yeah, I said it. Now, BLM, if Black Lives really mattered, you would start from the womb to the tomb. Did you know that if all of those little black babies were not aborted every day of the week, they would make up at least 20 to 30% of the United States population? Not 11%, not 8%, but 20 to 30% of the American population if you did not kill these babies at the abortion mills. But no, we are standing up for something different, they say. We are saying per capita that blacks are being killed on a daily by the police. That is a lie. A big time lie. Patrisse Cullors stepped down from her executive position at Black Lives Matter, and she just paid $35,000 to have fencing put around her property with security cameras and etc. Yeah, she built a wall around her property, her $1.3 or $1.4 million home, and she paid cash money for it. These people are not really caring about black people because they're making out like bandits. This is a game, folks. They're playing you like 88 keys on a wonderful keyboard. Now, Glenn Beck talks about how cities are defunding the police. Listen to this. It just gets even better, right, my friends? Are you guys ready for this? Because it's really going to be a toilet stooper. Here we go.
Nationwide, Activist groups convinced cities to cut $840 million from police spending, shift another $160 million to various social programs. Cities canceled another $35 million in contracts with police departments to patrol schools. Who would have seen any of this coming? Crime still rising all across the U.S. Suddenly, cities are changing their minds about defunding police. Baltimore cut its police budget by $22 million last year. Its new mayor has proposed a $27 million increase. Los Angeles cut a whopping $150 million. Now its mayor is like, can we get $50 million of that back? Cities are now requesting increases in funding for America's 20 largest police departments. What?
What do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? They want to defund the police, but now they want to increase funding for the police department? Okay, you know who's guilty of all of this too? How about Wheeler of the city of Portland, Mayor Wheeler? He did not want the president's help when Donald Trump offered help to protect the city of Portland. He did not back law enforcement. He backed Antifa. But now he's turning his nose around and saying, oh my gosh, this is horrible. No, because you know why? No one wants to go to Portland now. Portland, Oregon looks like a third world country gone wild. The state of Oregon says that they're going to legalize hard drugs. Huh? Is that Amsterdam in America? Boy, you talk about this country turning into a huge Babylon on steroids. And then you have June, Pride Month. And then you have writers, and I'm not going to mention his name, saying that apple pie is racist. Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. What does apple pie have to do with racist? What does food have to do with racism? Can I tell you something, guy, whoever wrote this op-ed? You are a numbskull. Let me just say it again. You are stupid. I cannot believe that American apple pie is racist. I like apple pie. I'm not a huge fan of apple pie. I prefer cheesecake, but I'll have a slice of apple pie on the 4th of July. America's birthday. And I hope you guys all celebrate it big this year, no matter what the president or your governor or your mayor says. All of a sudden, after June 15th, COVID is gone. All of a sudden, you don't have to wear the face diapers. You shouldn't have been wearing them all along. This is what I'm trying to say to you people. Stand up for yourselves. Stand up for your family members. Stand up for your neighbors. Stand up for their children. Stand up for your children. Come on, adults. God gave you a mouth to speak. He gave you feet to walk, hands to do some work. Stop letting these people play you. It's ridiculous that you're letting yourselves get played. People are saying, oh, what do I do? Well, I'll tell you what you do. You go down to your local city offices at the city hall, wherever you guys go, and you ask for these emails and documents on these politicians that are in your city wanting to get elected to see where their money's coming from. And you can ask for the emails legally under the Freedom of Information Act. They have to give it to you. Which one of you politicians are on the take? And if they're found to be on the take, put them out there, expose them, and tell them to be gone. Just like that. Send them away. You know what I'm saying? Because this is getting crazy. You got to tell them.
Access denied.
Exactly. Thank you very much. That's what it is. I implore you to stand up. And if you are a Christian, you better stand up fast. Because if you get caught riding dirty when Jesus returns, that's it. You're stole. Sayonara. You're done. But everybody's all scared now. I know. It's not easy. Heck, I think about it all the time. And I think, why do I do these podcasts if people are not going to listen and pay attention and they're not going to get it together? I got to keep going until everyone gets it. I am not going to stop until people get it. If I didn't have God in my life, I would not have the energy to say these things. Because I care. I totally care. At the end of the day, I don't care what party you're from. I just want you to know that you should love your country. Love your fellow man and woman and child. Even if you don't have children, please, adults, reach down and get some gumption and say, you know what? I've got to look out for these young people. And if you don't look out for the children, you might as well have a millstone tied around your neck and be under the water at the bottom of the ocean with cement shoes on. Because when God judges people for not protecting the children, guess what? It's going to be worse for them. I want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart that have subscribed to the Kennel Podcast. And I got a great friend. I love this brother. That's my homeboy, as he would say. I'm his homeboy. Yeah. Big Richard Valle. What's up, bro? And Norma, how you doing? Love you guys. What's up to my man, George Silva? It's great to know that you guys subscribe to the podcast, man. And Richard and George, they're real men. They stand up for their families. They're not going to let anybody punk their families or their friends or the people they love the most. Where's all of those people? Come on, man. Stand up. Be counted. Don't get caught riding dirty at the end of your life. Yep, I know. Sometimes people say, oh, you did a couple of cuss words on some of your episodes. You know why? Because I get in the heat of the moment sometimes, and I apologize for not handling it right. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to say a couple things just to get your point across. I don't claim to be the male Mother Teresa. I'm not a saint. I'm a sinner. I have to repent every day I wake up and say, God, please forgive me for the sins that I've committed and for the sins that you know that I'm going to continue to commit until you return. Yes. And my producer, Money Ben, thank you so much, brother. We're going to continue this crusade until God calls us all home. I'm going to continue to speak out until God says, okay, that's it. These people are not listening to all of you. I'm bringing you all home, and the world is going to spin more and more and more and more and more out of control. Because everything is upside down and inside out. Ladies and gentlemen, take care of each other, love one another, speak up for one another, stand by side until the finish line. You got to fight the good fight. Run that race. Because at the end, if you're on the right side of God, you're going to win. You've been listening to The Kennel right here on Podbean.com, a Money Bin production. My name is Vin Dog Radio. Yes, indeed. You can add, like, and subscribe to my podcast. Yes, follow us, please, on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Pandora, and Spotify. Yes, indeed. God bless you. God bless America. God bless everyone around the world that loves freedom. And we'll see you on the other side, sucker. See you real soon, sucker.